here with Boomerosity, and I decided to dig back into my archives this month because this month marks the 70, what would have been the 75th birthday of David Cassidy. He passed away several years ago, and he was on my mind because he was among the interviews I did in the first year of Boomerosity, and it was quite a mind blower for me because he was such a huge deal in my childhood with the Partridge Family and all of his singles that were on the radio. He and, of course, Davy Jones. I had interviewed Davy Jones around the same time because, coincidentally, they were going to be performing together. So I wound up getting to interview both of them at separate times. And what a blast they both were. And you can see the Davy Jones interview on this channel that you're watching or listening to because I put it out there about 2 years ago on these platforms. Go ahead and look it up. It's under Davy Jones. But this one here I thought I would put out because it would have been David Cassidy's 75th birthday this month as I record this. And I thought I'd just put the audio out there. Back in those days, I was only recording the interviews so that I could then transcribe them and then write an article based on the transcription. So I've come a long way, baby. I would have loved to have been able to got him on camera before he passed away. But as you listen to this, just listen to a free-flowing conversation where he actually done most of the talking for a change because I talk too much. But he shared a lot about his career, and what I really want you to listen in on is his comments about his friendship with none other than John Lennon. How cool that was. He's shared of what he says was some never-before comments about John's passing that he really didn't talk much about, but he shared with me on that day on that phone call. So without any further ado, here is my one and only interview with the late, great David Cassidy, pulled from the Boomerosity archives of 15 years ago. Until next time, this is Randy Patterson with Boomerosity. Take care. The recording you're about to eavesdrop in on is a phone interview I had with the former teen idol, David Cassidy, in January of 2010. Since he and the late Davy Jones were scheduled to perform a concert in the area where I lived, I managed to arrange an interview with him to help promote their upcoming show. If you listen to the Davy Jones interview and then listen to this one with David, you can't help but notice the differences in persona and style. Nevertheless, listening to him speak can't help but conjure up memories of the days when David Cassidy and the Partridge Family won kids' hearts, especially the young girls. So sit back, relax, and enjoy listening to this interview with David Cassidy, raw and mostly unedited. Hello, this is Randy.
Hey, Randy, it's David Cassidy.
Hey, well, gosh, Dave, I appreciate you going overboard to try to reach me here, and I apologize for being hard to reach. So
it's okay, buddy. Don't worry about it. It's absolutely fine.
Well,
I've just had so much on my plate here today.
I understand.
Been running around kind of like a chicken with his head cut off.
I know the feeling.
I'm sure you do. Yes, I'm sure you do.
Well, listen, I know that Joanne told me we had about 15 minutes, and I want to be respectful of your time. So
thank you.
I want to, and some other time, just to kind of tee you up on something else. Somewhere down the road, I'd like to get a little more in depth as far as your career and what you've been doing since the 70s and all that. And we'll kind of touch on that with my questions here. But the drive of this, just so you'll know, is I'm going to be catching your show in a stop here in Dallas. And so I want to
I haven't been there in a long, long time.
Oh, you're going to be blown away by how much it's changed. So
I'm sure I will. It's been so long since I've been there. I think the last time was 95.
Oh, wow.
95. Wow. Yeah, it's been a long time, and hopefully this won't be the last time, but I've got a lot of other stuff on my plate, and for all my fans and people that are down there in Texas, I had such an amazing experience when I was there last, and actually I've done a couple concerts there, but I also did a Broadway show, Blood Brothers, with my brother Sean, and we came and played Dallas with Blood Brothers in '95, I think it was, and the audiences were amazing, and my fans have been fantastic. So I'm just hoping that I'm going to do, because it's been so long since I've done a concert there, I'm going to do basically a whole, I'm going to do a lot of hits, and both Partridge Family and myself, and I've gone back and done a whole, I dug out some of the really great songs from the 70s, and also take people kind of on a musical journey through my life. You know, from when I was 13, the Beatles broke, and I got to know all of them. I got to know John very, very well, and I played with him a couple of times. He came over to my house, and we played some great Beatles songs, and he had forgotten them. Well, the early stuff, which is what I really remembered.
Yeah.
And
Cavern Days type of thing, huh?
Well, no, after that. I'm talking about the Meet the Beatles and the second album. And, you know, when you're 13 and I saw them on the Ed Sullivan Show, and like a million other guys, I went out and bought an electric guitar, and like the next day, and started playing, and, you know, played in bands and garage bands through high school and junior high and high school, and it was such an amazing musical time. But what was so cool about it is I also played with Paul once. They were doing their final dress rehearsal for the Wings Over America tour later in the 70s, and they did it for me and my guitar player. They were in Paris at the time rehearsing, and I got to hang out and play with him a bit. And but I got to know John really well, and I really think his spirit and his impact on the planet was so great. I truly believe he had more to do with changing the world, and was willing to die for what he believed in. And you know, he was just lambasted by the media and the press when they did a bet-in, and, you know, Nixon wanted to deport him, but he was such an incredibly inspirational guy, and hysterically funny, amazingly bright, and, you know, he just was incredibly had an amazing. They all did, but he had an amazing impact on me. And I might take people back to when John and I first got together and played, and play him a couple of songs that. Anyway, I'm going to take them all through that, and up through my last platinum album, and I'll do a couple of my remixes from 2 years ago, which I premiered actually on Oprah, and it was during February 2 years ago, and my album went to #1 on Amazon the next day. So
wow.
the impact of Oprah is quite remarkable. But I've just come off doing a television series with my brothers, Ruby and the Rockets, and I cut down a lot of the dates because of my work back in television, and I've moved back out to L.A., and I'm going to start doing a feature film, really a great script, and I've only done 3 features in my life, so where I'm talking about theatrical releases. So we'll see how we shall see how it goes, and hopefully I'm going to come, and it's the first show of the year for me, and I'm very excited to do it. And I did it a show last year with Davy Jones, which was really successful, and he's going to open for me and do the first half, and God knows he really surprised me with how I think he had, you know, we forget that the Monkees had an awful lot of hits, and his show was really good, and I think a lot of the audience, you know, they were from the 60s and me from the 70s, but I think the audience will be filled with a night of incredibly high energy, and I'm sort of chomping at the bit to get back and do it. With all the work and being in Los Angeles, I haven't performed since I think the first weekend in December. So it's been a while. I'm going to do some. I've got a lot of different sets that I do, but I'll do some acoustic stuff.
Oh, good.
And every show I do is different. I don't have any set pattern. And who knows? I'll probably do a little bit of blues since we're in Texas. And I saw Hendrix when I was a kid 4 times.
Wow.
I saw Clapton and Cream. I think it was the last show they did. If it wasn't, I believe, I don't know, you could probably do the research if you cared, but the live version of Crossroads, I think I was there for that legendary, incredible performance of Crossroads. Which,
oh my gosh!
Yeah, I saw that show. Or either that show, I think they did 2 nights, and I believe it was the last public show they ever did until they, a couple of years ago, got back together and played the Albert Hall.
Right.
But, that's got to be 40 years ago.
Man, I bet you got a memorabilia collection that won't quit.
Well, a lot of it's stored in my brain, but yeah, I do. I'm a huge sports fan, and I raise and breed racehorses.
Oh, really?
Thoroughbreds. Oh, yeah, I've been doing that for over 30 years, and I race in New York, and I've got one in Louisiana at the fairgrounds that's going to start actually tomorrow. He's going to make his first start, and but I've been breeding and racing, and almost exclusively for the last 10 years in New York, and I've been the leading breeder by percentage of stakes winners and average earnings, although I don't have anywhere near the kind of earnings that some of the big farms do. I have a small breeding operation with 6 or 7 mares, but it's been a real passion of mine too. And I have never been to Lone Star. I don't know. Right now, Lone Star I don't think is running, but do you know anything about thoroughbred racing?
Just very, very, very high level. I can tell you that the arena or the facility you're going to perform at next month is right there next to Lone Star. I mean, you can walk to it, David.
Wow. Well, I'm going to come in a day early, and maybe they'll let me go over. I know the ownership and management down there.
Uh-huh.
They'll let me come in early. I'd like to see it at least. I've heard great things about it, and hopefully I'll get a chance to come down and run this colt that I've got at the fairgrounds in the next few months. So we'll see. But I am genuinely excited about going back to Dallas. I had come from Detroit, and it was like 37 degrees and freezing in Detroit.
Yep.
And I got there and it was like 89.
Yep.
And this beautiful girl who was working for the promoters and producer greeted me as I got off the airplane. She greeted me. She went, "Hi, David. Welcome to Dallas." I went, and it's 89 degrees. We got gloves, and it was like night and day. So I have great memories, and I have a couple friends of mine that I used to spend a lot of time. I played the Houston Astrodome, and I played a big arena down there. I don't know which one it was. The first time I was there back in the 70s.
In Dallas or in Houston?
No, in Dallas. I remember the dates I did in Houston.
So it'd probably be Reunion Arena if it was in an indoor arena.
It was, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's been replaced by the American Airlines Arena.
That's right, the American Airlines Arena, right. Well, I've heard fantastic things about the Nokia Theater, so I'm looking forward to playing.
I saw the the Hippie Fest tour, which is the like Mountain and Chuck McGrawn and various ones performed. I went to that show and wrote a review on it, and that was the first time I had actually spent any time in Nokia, and it's a very good venue. I think you'll be very pleased with it. Acoustically, it's very good.
I've heard
pretty
that.
Good. Rod Stewart had just performed there, I think, about 2 weeks prior to Hippie Fest, and so some pretty, such as yourself, very good names come through there. So it's a respectable, very well outfitted, very acoustically a sound.
Well, I wish I could have been part of the Hippie Fest.
Well, why didn't you?
Nobody called me and asked me, and I actually haven't done, tours with. David's the only other star that I've ever done a show with. I did one show with the Osmonds, and but really and truly, the idea of Mountain, who were on my same label back in the '70s,
mm-hmm.
on Bell, and Chuck. I hope Chuck's. I know he went through a really difficult time, but he was a great singer.
Well, let me bring you up to speed on both of those guys. I interviewed Leslie West before the show,
mm-hmm.
and he's doing phenomenal. His guitar licks are,
he was amazing.
Yeah, he's got a line with Dean Guitars now too, a signature line.
Oh, does he? Good for him.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Well, he's kind of one of those classic. Unlike a lot of the British guys like Jeff Beck and Jimmy Page and Clapton, of course, but. He was one of the few American guys that played that really tough bluesy R&R. So I think that's cool. Who else was on the bill?
Well, Chuck was on there. I think between Leslie and Chuck, they were, in my opinion, were the best. The Turtles, Ed. Gosh, my mind's just gone blank. But the two guys from the Turtles, they were kind of an MC as well as performing. There was,
they had a lot of hits.
Yeah, and I would have to pull my notes out to see because my mind's going blank. But I could have listened to Leslie and Chuck both all night long. Chuck is
cool.
He is clean now. He's very.
I know he is. I know someone who knows him and who told me that he's now clean, and I'm really happy to hear that for him.
Yeah, well, he's still got the chops, man. He's he's right up there. Yeah, he is.
Great singer.
But yeah, if
we're going to try and blow the roof off that place when we come down, and just know, as I said before, I don't want to wind you up or think I'm sort of blowing smoke. I'm really not. It's it'll be more than 2 months since I played, and it's too long. I love to play, and with working in television and developing some stuff in television, working with my brother Sean, and he may actually, oddly enough, we talked about this because we're getting together to put a live show together. My brother Patrick and I just did Ruby and the Rockets.
Mm-hmm.
My brother Sean actually may come, and I don't know for sure, so you may or may not want to.
For this stop now, or for
this
the
gig, yeah.
Wow.
Because we're going to go to Las Vegas from there, and then the following weekend I'm in Pennsylvania, and then I'm playing a couple casinos in New York and Chicago, around Chicago. So it's really cool. I'm going to have a great time in February and March. I've got a number of dates and a couple of corporate dates as well.
Well, cool. Well, if there's anything I can, if you're in town and you think you're getting run around by somebody or you're lost and need some help,
man.
Give me a shout.
If I need to get somebody local to give me non-runaround stuff, I'll give you a call if I can.
Well,
usually when I'm there, I'm coming in a day early, so or a night before. We'll see what my schedule and what they've got for me. But I really appreciate talking to you.
Yeah, well, likewise.
Anything else you want to ask me? By all means, fire away.
Yeah, a couple of things. It was not on my list of questions, but when you brought up John Lennon, the question came to mind. What was going through your head, and the emotions, the thoughts, the memories when you learned that he was shot?
I got on an airplane and flew back to New York for reasons that are personal. I didn't want his funeral to be a circus, and I spent some time with Yoko at their apartment, and with a mutual friend of ours, and I spent a couple days there, and it was really, for me, a very personal thing. And I've actually never talked about it because most people I talk about him in his life as opposed to the tragedy. So, but I miss his voice, and I mean his voice for his, now more than ever, his belief in all you need is love. Love is all you need, and all we're saying is give peace a chance. And his commitment to that was as real and as genuine as anyone I've ever known. And you know, I think he had a lot to do with changing the world and the perception, and he was a tremendous spirit. So
Still
I'm going to bring a little of that spirit back to the Nokia Theater.
Well, that'll be fun to hear. One other thing, kind of on a very lighthearted note, is there anything in particular that are going to be on product tables that you're just especially proud of that you'd love to see the fans buy out in the lobby?
I try not to, just between you and I. I'm a lot different than most artists. I have T-shirts and things like that, but I try not to exploit my fame and fans by selling
trash and trinkets
for money. Yeah, I mean it.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how a lot of artists, particularly in the last decade and a half, that people, I think the fact that people come, I think the experience in itself, for me, it's celebration. You know, it really is. And I think I said before, I don't have any set pattern. I go out there and whatever begins spontaneously to happen with the audience, and there you'll see it's pretty amazing.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be.
Me too, man.
My wife and I both are going. She said she loved you as a teen, and you were always the guy that made me jealous all the time because you got all the girls' attention.
Please.
So
please.
Here I am going to take my wife to go see you in concert. So.
Well, that's great, man.
Hey,
I really appreciate the time, and I appreciate the fact that she was a fan and she's coming, and hopefully all the rest will come down and get a chance. And I don't know, you know, when you haven't been there somewhere in 15 years, I'm not sure when I'm going back, but it's a great venue, and it'll be a great night, and
I think
Davey's really, really good. You'll be surprised, I think.
I'm looking forward to seeing both of you. Before I forget, I wanted to let you know, and I do this with anybody that has entrusted me with their contact information and stuff. I did ask Ken before I talked to you, in the event if you want, and this was my suggestion, not his, so it wasn't like he was jumping up and down wanting you to contact him, but I do have his permission to give you his contact information if you would like it. So
great. Would you do me a favor?
Sure.
On my itinerary that they're going to send me on Monday, could you contact Joanne Geffen's office? Because I'm at a place I don't have a pen.
No problem. I'll shoot it over to her. Yeah, I'll shoot it over to her, and she can relay it to you. No problem.
That'd be great. And if you contact him, send him my love and tell him I'll say a prayer for him tonight.
Absolutely.
That's a great thing.
Well, David, thanks a lot for the time, and
my pleasure. Thank you.
Get some rest this weekend.
I'm gonna try. Thanks, buddy.
Talk to you later.
Have a great weekend.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye now.
This has been another fun-filled episode of Boomerosity with your host and producer, Randy Patterson. The theme song is Roll the Dice and is recorded and used by permission from Quentin Hope. Quentin is spelled Quinten, and Hope is Hope. And you can find out more about Quentin at quentinhope.com. Post-production is done by Cardinal Sins Productions. The Boomerosity name, logo, and content is copyright protected. Segments may only be used with written permission by Boomerosity and or its assignees. Inquiries should be directed to input@boomerosity.com. Copyright 2025.